Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'm going to teach and play A Dragon's Gift, the newest 18-card wallet game from Button Shy Games. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I am set up now to teach you how to play A Dragon's Gift and then to play it. This is a preview copy of this game, so it was provided by the publisher, and this is coming to Kickstarter on Tuesday, January 6th of 2026. So I'll put a link down in the description to the Kickstarter page if it's something you're interested in. So I will first teach you how to play this game, and then I will play it, and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end. Now, A Dragon's Gift is part of the Simply Solo series by Button Shy Games. So this is a series of games that are solo only, and they're all made by Scott Alms. I've got several of them myself. And so let's start learning the game. And let's start with the layout of the cards. So you're going to have 6 cards that on one side have some form of transportation. On the other side, they have the Dragon's Gift, which is going to be this large icon depicted on each of these cards. So you can most easily find them by finding this side. So take these 6 cards and set them aside. And then you're going to have the rest of your cards. There's 12 of them here. They look very similar on each side, but they are double-sided and the sides are different. So one side is going to have some sort of equation. Something with an arrow leads to something else. The other side is going to have that something else with a check mark. So you want to make sure that all your cards are on the same facing. So right now this is the arrow side. That's the side that they're always going to come into play, is with the arrow. The back side has the check mark. So we'll get our cards and we'll shuffle them up. We'll shuffle both of these decks. Okay, so that one's good and shuffled. This one we'll shuffle. And we'll start when we set up with this deck here. We'll deal 3. And then the 4th one, we're going to flip it over to this side. And the last 2, we're just going to set aside. We're not going to use them during the game. So, during this particular playthrough, I should say. So what we are doing in this game is we are trying to craft a gift for the local dragon. So once a year, we have a big festival. We give the dragon a gift, and it keeps the dragon happy. So in this playthrough, we're going to be trying to craft this mirror. And so the other cards are going to be our village. And so let's talk about these cards and what we find on them. So I guess before we start playing, I'll just lay a few of these out. That's a good smattering. So these cards are going to have roads on them, and this is a card laying game or a tile laying game. So you're going to be making an interconnected system of roads as you place these cards one at a time. And each of these cards is going to have 2 things. It's going to have one basic resource on it. So that are these large circles here. There are 3 basic resources. There's ore, that's this blue one here. This green one is wood, and purple I think is magic. And so you can see the magic is sort of always in this little pool, and the wood is always a forest, and the ore is always going to be a big pile of rocks, right? So the other thing each card will have is something that can be crafted. So this is a village of craftspeople. So there are some basic things you can craft, like a scroll or a coin. In order to craft these things, you must have what is left of the arrow in order to craft what is on the right side of the arrow. So, for example, if we have these 2 cards next to each other like this, you can see this magic is connected to this house. I'll get into the mechanics of how you would get the magic to the house in order to craft it, but you can use the magic to craft the scroll, and when you do, you then take the card and you flip it over horizontally, so the cards are identical on both sides. You're not going to change the roads, you're not going to change any of the icons or anything, with the exception of now it will show that you have crafted a scroll, and you have one. So these basic I guess first there's like the natural resources. These are these large circles we talked about. And then there are things you can craft from just a natural resource, such as the scroll, or you could craft this coin here. When it's crafted from just one resource, it becomes a square. So in this instance, okay, now we still have this resource, but we also have this square icon here of the scroll. Then there are more complex shapes like these. So these hexagons, if we wanted to craft these things, they are crafted from two different square shapes. So in order to craft this axe, we would need a coin like this and a scroll. And we do have a scroll. We don't have the coin because we need to connect that to an ore. So perhaps if we placed an ore card like this, we can then craft a coin. And then once we have a coin and a scroll, then maybe we could find a way, don't worry about the mechanics of it right now, but maybe we could find a way to get these all connected. And once they're all connected, then we could use the coin and the scroll to craft the axe. All right, that's generally what we're trying to do in this game. And so that's what these cards have going on. We'll, again, get into some of the mechanics in a minute here. But this final card here, this is the gift for the dragon. So in order to craft this, we're going to need three things. In this case, we're going to need an ore and a coin and a staff. So you're going to need a natural resource, one of these circular icons, a square icon that's crafted from a single resource, and a hexagon icon that's crafted from two squares. The roads on this card are fairly forgiving, and when you can play this card at any time. You can, instead of playing one of these, you can place this into your village, but once you do, you immediately must try and craft that gift, and the game ends. So when you place this, the game is over. So I have not found a example yet of when I would want to play this before playing every card in the deck. It's kind of the last card you want to play. All right, so let's talk about playing these cards and how this game works. So at the start of the game, after you've shuffled this up, you're going to place one card, the top card, on the center of the table, then take one card into hand, and the rest of the cards just form a stack here, and you can see the next card coming and use that for your planning. So here is our card, and on our turn, we can do a couple things. We can either craft something, which is going to involve flipping a card over, or we can place a card from our hand, or we can place this card at any time. Those are the three things you can do. So let's take those one at a time. The first thing you can do is expand the village. So that's place a card from your hand into the village, or place this card, the Dragon's Gift card, into the village. When you place a card into the village, first it must be placed unsupplied side up. You can't just place it already supplied. Except for one, unless the game tells you otherwise. There's an example over here, but otherwise you must place it unsupplied side up, and the card must be placed vertically. You can rotate it 180 degrees if you want, but not 90. All the cards are going to go vertically in this game, and then at least one road must be connected to another road somewhere. You can offset them. You don't have to put them together. You can put them fully lined up if you want, but at least one road must be connected, and all cards must be fully visible. You cannot cover other cards, and you cannot tuck under. In this game, all cards will be fully visible, so I kind of like that restriction here. And then after you've placed a card, take the next card from the deck to your hand. That is expanding your village. So then let's go ahead and do that again. Right here, we'll place a card that meets all the requirements, and we'll take a new card into our hand. So the other thing you can do is you can craft a resource. So that means building a thing on one of these unsupplied cards, one of these cards that has an arrow on it. So these two cards can both make a coin from an ore. So let's say we want to do that. In order to do that, we have to get each of the resources on the left side of the equation here to that shop. We need to transport it. So there's two types of transport. The first is basic transport. So to do a basic transport, you're going to move, you need to have a path from that resource to the craft shop that you're going to, and it must follow the roads, but there's more to it than that. But just in this first example, we couldn't craft this coin from this ore because the road leading to the ore goes off this way, and it goes down here, and it goes this way, but it never makes it over to any of the roads that connect to this shop. If we look at this shop here, the ore comes down here, across the road, gets to the shop. Now, when it starts here and it crosses over this card, that is a distance of 1. Every time your path crosses over a card, it adds 1 to the distance. So to do a basic supply, your distance can be no more than 2. So in this case, we could get this ore distance of 1 to this shop. Great, we've supplied it. We would then flip the card horizontally and place it exactly where it was, and we now have a coin that then we could use to craft something like this. This requires a coin. Let me make a different example, just like this real quick. If we wanted to do this coin now from this ore, this would be a distance of 1. We've just crossed over to a card. 2, 3. Too far away for a basic supply. Although we could use this ore here, going 1 and a distance of 1. So we could craft it from that ore, but not from that one in this case. So that is how basic supply works. And for your more complex crafting, like this one, where it needs a coin and some lumber, which are both squares, both things that are crafted. Again, let's say we had crafted this. All right, this coin is now 1, or how did we get there? 1, 2, 3, too far away for a basic supply. So you've really got to think about the placement of things. So this one here, again, this one has the lumber. So even though this card is right next to this lumber and this coin, neither of those resources are close enough for a basic supply because of the number of roads they'd have to cross, or this one's not even connected to this road anywhere. So in those cases, you can do a delivery via transport. So that's what these 3 cards are for. And so they've all got their own special rules on them, and they tell you how they work. And you can use multiple in the same turn. When you use it, you're going to tap the card, you'll turn it sideways, and it is going to remain unavailable until you craft the item that is listed in the top right corner of the card. If that item is ever crafted, then this becomes available again. So let's look at a couple examples here. We have the mammoth snail. This one says, using roads, deliver a resource up to 2 cards away. It may cross one valley to continue on a different road on the same card. So what that is saying is this coin here can follow this road and cross over to here, and then use the snail's ability to cross from this road across this valley, that's just the space between roads, over to this road here on the same card, and now it is supplied to this craft shop. If we take a look at this autocopter, it says, ignoring roads, deliver a resource to any craftsperson in the same row or column. Cards must be fully edge to edge with no offsets to be part of the same row or column. So we could use this, for example, to deliver this lumber here, because these are in the same column and they're edge to edge. So using these 2 resources, we could then flip this to its crafted side. We've now crafted that item. And because we've crafted this red gem, that's what triggers this autocopter to be untapped. In order to get this mammoth snail back, we'd have to craft that purple staff. So that is essentially it. The last bit of info is when you're ready, you can place this card. Again, I don't know why you wouldn't place it as your final action after your whole deck is placed. But once you place this, you immediately try and craft the gift for the dragon. And if you can accomplish this, again, including whatever untapped delivery methods you have over here, then you've successfully completed the game. Otherwise, you fail. Now, if you do succeed in crafting the dragon's gift, then for scoring, you're going to go and count up how many other crafted items do you have. This does not count. This is just the trigger for whether or not you can score. If you can't craft this at all, you just fail. If you can craft it, then again, you go look at all your other cards. How many crafted items do you have? And if you have 8 or fewer, you have also lost. And then 9, 10, 11, and 12 are just different tiers of success. So 12 would be a perfect game. So that's really it. Let's go ahead and play it now. And I think it'll make sense as you see us in action. So I'll flip these back over to their uncrafted side so I can shuffle them more easily. Shuffle these. 6 of these, and then we'll have 1, 2, 3, and that's what we're crafting. The other 2 will go away. So let's take a look. We've got a teleportation portal, ignore roads, deliver a resource up to 2 cards away, so we don't have to worry about roads at all. That's pretty cool. We've got the autocopter, which we've already seen, and the mammoth snail, we've seen that as well. We're trying to craft, I guess, this inkwell, and we're going to need 1 wood, 1 coin, and 1 staff. So now we will shuffle up these cards, and as normal, we will place the top card in the middle somewhere. That's always the trick with these, city building or tile placement, tile laying, card laying type games, is you don't know which way you're going to go. So I don't know if that's going to be the center. Am I just going to build right, left, down, up? I don't know, but we're going to put it there for now. I'm going to take the next card, put it into my hand, and this is the deck, so we can look at the top card of the deck and kind of know what's coming. So we have an ore here, and we can craft a staff from a scroll and some lumber. In our hand, we've got some magic, and this card can be used to craft an axe from a coin and a scroll. And coming up, we have, again, magic with a gem that can be crafted from a coin and lumber. So this is kind of a tricky start because the starting card, the card on my hand, and the top card of the deck, none of them have an item that can be crafted from just a natural resource. They're all crafted from other things we have to craft. So we're just going to have to try and lay things out in a way that hopefully makes sense. So for example, there's an ore here. An ore is used to make a coin. This is going to need a coin. It's also going to need a scroll, which is made from magic. So maybe we put this here so that we can get maybe something that can make a scroll here that would supply both this card and this card. And maybe we can get something here that would make a coin from the ore. So we'll give that a shot. And now we'll draw our next card. And this is what's coming up. Man, another axe. Okay, that's a tricky start. There's nothing I can craft, so I'm just going to expand the village. Maybe I'll put this one here. Is that where I want it? Might I want it here? We'll do... That one could potentially use a coin. I'm not sure. We'll try that. All right, draw another card. Oh man, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards in a row with items that need 2 crafted items to be successfully crafted. So there's only 6 in the whole deck, so that's a really unlucky draw. Now we do know for this Dragon's Gift, we're going to need a staff. So this is the only staff we've seen. There's going to be one more. We've got 2 axes, 2 gems, and there will be one more staff, but we're going to need one of them. So where would I want to put this other axe? I mean, it's a question of, do I want it to be close to this axe and maybe the resources will all kind of be in the same spot, or do I want to put it further away because the resources might not line up and I would hate to miss them both. Maybe we'll try like this. Take the next card. Okay, finally, we've got something coming up. We can craft a coin from ore. So we know that that's coming. And I think we were hoping to do that up here. And yeah, these things are going to need coins. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this card because it has ore on it and connect it here just to sort of start connecting some of these roads. And I'll draw the next card. And this one can turn, this upcoming one can turn trees into lumber. I'm going to take this and I think I'm going to flip it and put it here. And now take the next card. And now, on my turn, okay, this is going to turn magic into scrolls. Now on this turn, rather than place this card, I'm going to craft this coin. So there is some ore right here. That's the closest. It can go up this road, crosses one distance, and gets to here. So we'll go ahead and craft it. The only reason I wouldn't craft it right away is if one of my special transports were reset by gaining the coin. Then I might want to save it and kind of do things later in a different order just to be able to use these. And then after I use these special transports, be able to trigger reactivating them. So that is a consideration. So now I've got my 1 coin. Everything else, again, is going to take at least 2 crafted resources to make. So I can't craft anything else. So I guess I'm going to expand the village next. I want to place this where I can craft it. And let's see. This coin is kind of near this gem, which requires a coin and lumber, and this can make lumber. This is going to need lumber. So will that, maybe I'm going to put this here, and now that I've placed it, I take, ooh, that's not good. Look at that little loop that I just made. So that gem is not connected to anything, so that's rough. But I'm going to take my next card, and this teleportation portal is reset by crafting lumber. So if I'm going to use it, let's use it now. Although I'm not going to be able to do this in the order I want. Well, that's okay. What I'm going to do, all right, I'll craft this lumber from this wood here. So it goes from these trees down this road, one distance away and gets to the shop. Let's craft this. All right, and now we've got lumber and a coin. And I would like to supply those here. So I'm going to use the teleportation portal, ignoring roads, deliver a resource up to 2 cards away. That's going to go from here to here. That's 1 card away. So we've got a coin. And then I'll use the autocopter. So ignoring roads, deliver a resource to any craftsperson in the same row or column. So I will go from this lumber up here that is in the same column. So let's tap that. And now we have made our gem. All right, we've crafted that. And the gem is the trigger to reset this autocopter. All right. So now we've got that back. To get teleportation back, though, we're going to need to make another lumber. But hopefully we can get that done. All right, there's nothing else that I can craft yet, but this I'm going to place and use it to make a scroll. And this is actually a really good place for it right here. So I'm going to place that, take the next card. All right, this can also make a scroll. This can make a coin from an ore. We've got we've got wood here. We've got magic here. And there are 12 cards in this deck. So we've got 8 here, a 9th in my hand, a 10th on top of the deck, and then 2 more cards below it. And then we've got to be able to pull this off, which I have not thought much about. But looking at the requirements, I do see we have some wood. We've got this coin, potentially the staff, which we're going to need, and some wood kind of all near each other here. These things don't line up perfectly, but we could potentially place this card right here, and using at least some of these options might be able to make that spot work. So for this turn, I'm going to craft this scroll from this magic. So it crosses over here. That's 1 distance away, comes to here. That's enough. So we flip it horizontally, place it back. So we've got a scroll now. And now I'm going to craft this staff. I want that because it is a requirement for the Dragon's Gift. So we're going to take this scroll, that's the first thing that we need, and cross over 1 distance away using roads. Then we're going to get this lumber here, and we're going to do that using the mammoth snail. So using roads, deliver a resource up to 2 cards away. It may cross 1 valley to continue on a different road on the same card. So how am I going to do that? Oh, you know what? That's not going to work. I don't have a way to do that. So if that's the case, I'm just going to wait. If I can connect this road to these roads, then I can use the snail. So I guess I'll hold off on that. So I guess I need to place a card. And I don't want to use this one in this spot. I kind of wanted this to go in that spot, but I'll figure something else out. I don't want to do this here because that won't connect these roads, which is what I was just saying I wanted to do. So where else could I use a scroll? This is kind of a tough card with the way that each of the roads makes like a U-turn on its own side of the card. Well, let's maybe put this over here and draw the next card, and that'll give us some more info. Okay, this one can make lumber, and that means whatever is on the bottom is going to be able to make a staff because there's going to be 1 more of those out there. So what I'm going to do is take this card, place it here. That connects the roads like I wanted to, and then draw my next card. And now we have all the information for the rest of the game. This one's important because when we craft that lumber, it can reactivate this teleportation portal, and that would be nice to have going into the end. But on this turn, I'm going to craft this coin from this ore. So it's going to cross over here. That's a distance of 1. Get to the shop. So we now flip it over. All right, now I will go about crafting this staff. So it needs this scroll, which is a distance of 1, and that lumber, which I'm going to use the snail now. So it's going to cross this valley to this road on the same card and then go distance 1, distance 2. And that's enough. So we've got the scroll and the lumber. We've made the staff. We would tap this snail, but then the staff untaps it. So we get the snail back. So that's always handy if you can pull off that trick. Let's try and line up our roads nicely. All right, what else can I do? I've got a lot of uncrafted stuff over here, and that's going to cost me points at the end of the game. And it looks like I've made some poor placement choices over in this area. So maybe I can salvage some of it, maybe not. But I've got to craft, I guess, at least these last 2 items, if I want to have a shot at this. So I think I'm going to take this card and flip it this way and place it here. Take this card into my hand, and now I'm going to supply this wood to this crafts place to make lumber. And by doing that, by making the lumber, I now reactivate the teleportation portal, and that could be important. And so again, for the Dragon's Gift, I'm going to need wood and a coin and a staff. And I'm just kind of thinking, if I flip this way when I place it, I'm not placing it now, but when I do, I can get the wood from here. The coin 1, 2 is easy enough. And even the staff can go 1, 2, that's 3 distance away. So I would have to use something like the snail to go 1, cross the road, 2. So as long as I keep the snail available and place this here, I'll be fine. So what else can I do in the meantime? 'Cause I'd really like to craft some things. I could use the snail between now and then as long as I craft this, because that'll reactivate the snail. I don't really need the autocopter or the teleportation portal, so I can use those to craft other things to try and increase my score now. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I think I can craft this axe right now. It needs a scroll and a coin. The coin is here. It goes down this road 1, 2, and gets to the shop, and the scroll goes up 1 and gets to the shop. So I can just craft that. That's helpful. That gets me another item. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 items. All right, that's the minimum, so I won't lose the game, but let's see if we can do a little better than not losing. I already said I don't need teleportation, so let's go ahead and use it. I can craft this gem, I think, using this coin. It goes a distance of 1, 2. Oh, no, it doesn't get up there, though. It's not connected by roads. It just gets to the card. It doesn't get to the shop. That shop's not connected to anything, so that one's going to be real tricky to craft. Yeah, I don't think I've got a way to do it at all. Well, I guess I could. If I use teleportation and snail, I could do it. But then I'm going to need that snail again. So I'm going to need to I guess I need either one of those. But the snail's the only one I can get back if I can craft this staff. So I got to guarantee that I can craft that staff somewhere. So where can I put the staff to be sure I can craft it? Man, this uncrafted scroll is really hurting me a lot. It's causing me some problems. So let's do this. Let's use the teleportation portal to teleport this magic here. So it has to just be 2 cards away. 1, 2. So we can flip that over. That's crafted. That's helpful. And now we will place this in this orientation here. And so the lumber 1, 2 can do a regular delivery. The scroll is just 1 distance away, so that's a regular delivery. So I can craft that at any time, but I don't want to craft it until I've used the snail so that I can reactivate it. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to craft this axe. So that needs this scroll, which is going to go regular route across the roads 1, 2. We get the scroll. And then I'm going to use this coin here with the snail. So it's going to follow this road and go distance of 1. Cross this valley to this road, and then cross the next card, distance of 2. So we've crafted that axe. And so the only thing I'm not going to be able to craft is this item up here. There's just no way to do it that I can see, because nothing is connected to it via roads. So the only way to get to it would be to use these cards. I would need both snail and teleport. And even so, I don't think I've got any well, I guess the lumber's close enough for teleport, but I don't have a way to reactivate teleport. I can get snail, but autocopter's not going to help me because there's no coins and no lumber in this column, and it has nothing in its row because the only cards adjacent to it are not exactly edge to edge. So, okay, let's craft this staff now. So we've got this scroll, distance of 1. This lumber is going to be 1, 2. So we craft the scroll, and then that reactivates the snail. That needs the staff. And now we will place this final card, flip it this way, and we need 1 wood. So that is going to come from here. Cross 1, 2, distance of 2 makes it to the shop. We need 1 coin from here, distance of 1, 2 gets to the shop, and then 1 staff. And we're going to do this one. We'll cross from here 1. And then use the snail to cross this road, and then cross the card again for a distance of 2. So we've used the snail and check mark. So we have made the gift for the dragon. We've made this this inkwell, I guess. So now we just count up how many things we've crafted, and the gift for the dragon does not count as a crafted item. So we have 1, we're just counting the check marks here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So according to the rule book, that gives us a festive village. So that's pretty good. There's only one thing we couldn't craft. If we had that, we would have a joyous village. Otherwise, if you have 10 crafted items, it's a pleasant village, 9 is a quiet village, and 8 or fewer is a somber village, and that is a loss. So that's a solo playthrough of A Dragon's Gift, again, coming to Kickstarter in January 2026. Let me put these other couple cards out here so you can kind of take a look at some of these abilities if you like, while I tell you a little bit about the game or my thoughts on it. So from the card laying perspective, I mentioned this earlier, but I really like that the cards can be flipped 180, but they all must go the same orientation. They all have to be vertical, and there is no tucking or overlapping. I think that's pretty interesting. I find that tucking and overlapping are generally allowed in most of these button shy like card placement games, and so this was a neat restriction. The theme itself doesn't really do it for me, but the artwork is pretty nice. It's a little bit cutesy, but you can kind of tell what's going on. The roads are definitely clear, but I do have a couple of critiques. For all of the basic things that you can craft, so the squares, they've got this nice, it's easy to follow that the blue ore turns into the blue coin, that the green wood turns into the green lumber, that the purple magic turns into the purple scroll. I realize you want to be able to rely on the icons alone and not the colors. But if we're going to put colors in it, I find this third tier resource to be a little bit baffling. So the coin and the lumber, which are blue and green, make a red jewel. And where's the staff here? So the purple scroll and the green lumber make a purple staff. And using purple another time here I found really confusing. Where's the third one? Then we've got this light blue. So the dark blue coin and the purple scroll make a light blue axe. And I kind of eventually got it down after playing the game several times. But at first I was like, well, why don't we just make the basic resources like either red, green, and blue, and I understand red and green can be an issue, or blue, red, and yellow. Because then you can do a color wheel sort of thing, and it's a little bit easier to remember that, like, okay, the red and the red item and the yellow item are crafted together to make the orange one, and the blue and the yellow are crafted to make a green one. But in particular, between the magic, the scroll, and the staff, I found that a bit confusing because they're all purple, but it's not necessarily like a linear path because you also need other things to make the staff. So I just found that to be maybe a missed opportunity because I found it a little bit confusing. I never knew what I needed to craft something. Like I could tell what's going on in front of me, the cards that I've placed, but I'm like, what else is in the deck? And I'm trying to plan ahead and remember what might I need to craft a jewel, and there was no real good way to remember it that I could think of. That's always possible that I've missed something. Now, beyond that, as far as the placement puzzle itself goes, it is pretty good, but I don't know why, but I had a really, really hard time like getting into a flow of this game and really understanding it. And I'm going to give you a basic strategy tip here in a minute, but I was playing through this game and I would get to the end and I would have like 2 or 3 crafted resources in total. This time I got 11. And so that happened to me like 5 or 6 times. I kept playing it and I was just doing really poorly and I couldn't figure out why. And I will say that part was not especially fun. I did not enjoy those first few games. It's like, what the heck? I'm not understanding something. And it was clearly I was having trouble with the roads. Things were just not interconnected. Like all my roads were broken up into their own little separate roads, and it was really hard to get stuff where I needed it. And it's not that I didn't understand the concept of connecting the roads, but what finally clicked for me was that if you build your cards sort of in this arrangement where they're just the columns are offset by 1, I don't usually do 3 3 3 like this. I often do like 2 2 2 2 2 or something similar to that. But in any case, this arrangement tends to get enough roads connected that you can do the things you want. And I was being a little bit more haphazard at first. And I feel like when I was being haphazard, it was really not fun because I was just not I wasn't able to do anything, and I was just kind of placing cards, and then the game was over, and I couldn't craft anything, and that did not feel good. But now that I've started playing it this way, it also is maybe not as fun as it could be because I seem to do pretty decently. And so now it's just not quite an optimization puzzle, but I'm trying to get 12. I think this is probably my best one. I don't know if I've gotten 11 before, but I'm trying to push the score up a little bit. But I kind of know each time I play, like, all right, I'm not going to lose. I'm not going to get less than 8. So the tension feels, I don't know, just a little bit off for me personally. Now, that doesn't mean that you might not enjoy the game, and you can feel free to back it on Kickstarter if you think that's something you want to do. It does have some charm, and there is a fun challenge to it, but if I don't give you my honest opinion, nobody's going to trust me. So my personal opinion on this one is this is, for the Simply Solo series, this is like a mid-tier game. It's not bad, but for me, it's not a must-have. The top-tier games for me in that series are going to be A Nice Cuppa and The Last Lighthouse and Ugly Griffin Inn. I really love those games. And frankly, they're all 3 of those are very different from this one mechanically. So it could just be that this is a mechanic that's not working for me in some fashion or manner. But those are my honest thoughts on A Dragon's Gift. Again, I want to reiterate that this is a preview copy, so some of this stuff could change before the final product is done. But if you think you've got some interest in this, go ahead and head over to the Kickstarter. The link is in the description. You can check it out. Or if you're watching this in the distant future, like mid-2026 or later, then it's probably just available right now from the Button Shy website. So you can grab it there if you want to. Otherwise, if you've got any questions about the game, either on how to play, or if you think I made a mistake, or if you just want more detail on something, please do let me know in the comments. I'd be happy to talk to you about it there. And I'll also tease that I have a bunch of other Button Shy games that I recently picked up myself, and they will be coming to the channel. So if you want to see those, make sure you subscribe. Leave a like here if you would like to see more Button Shy content, because overall I am a fan and I want to put more of their games on the channel too. Not necessarily get them on the channel, but just because I like to play them. But that's it for this time. Thank you so much for watching Table for One. I hope you found this useful. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish my village was slightly more joyous, but maybe next time. But I will see you in the next video.